Hello, sisters. This video is for those of you who might be feeling like you're working twice as hard and getting half the results. Especially with everything that's been going on our planet. I've been working probably 4 times as hard. I've been working harder than I've ever worked in my life. And I'm curious who here can relate to that. What's being asked of us now is huge. It's tremendous, especially for those of us who are willing to get out there and lead and use our voices and share our truth and support people and heal people and help people and empower people. So the opportunity in the face of all that's going on is vast. And that's what I'm committed to orienting you toward. Ever since my event canceled last March, I literally have been turning myself inside out, giving my life over to women rocking business to preserve what I've built. You know, I had dialed in this perfectly crafted, I called it the freedom schedule. For those of you that have been following me for a while, I had figured out 12-day a month work schedule. I worked 4 days a week. I took Fridays off. I took a week off every month, and I was so proud of myself for that. I thought that I was kind of hot shit because of that. And I was stoked. I was excited. I had built the life that I wanted. And then this hit, and you know, things needed to be recreated. And I'm curious who can relate to just the more being asked of you. And so there's a few things I invite you to pay attention to right away in order to sustain what's being asked of you, because what's being asked of you, it's not a sprint. It's not even a marathon. It's a life of service. It's a life of really sort of handing yourself over to that which is moving you, because your clients are out there. You know, your community is out there. Your people are out there asking something of you. And if you've ever stood on stage and had that energy flow through you, like naturally from the audience, and you've found that like being on stage is almost like a high, right? This is the way to tap into that without having to be on stage, right? Whether you're on camera, whether you're journaling about a video that you want to make, whether you're creating a handout for your clients, your customers, whether you're working on your website, you can literally tap in to that flow of energy that's pulling you forward, right? Pain pushes until vision pulls. I'm going to say that one more time. Pain pushes until vision pulls. So you might have noticed I'm on this gorgeous river up in the Sierras in Eastern California, and I took 7 days off. And you know, honestly, there weren't 7 days to take off. The 7 days to take off weren't lining up. I remember last month I asked my top clients, these are my 6-figure, 7-figure clients. I surveyed them, how long has it been since you guys took more than 1 or 2 days off? There was only maybe less than 10% of the women in that group had actually taken more than 1 or 2 days off in many, many months. And I could feel as soon as I made the plan to take the time off, all of the voices came in, but there's too much to do. The to-do list is too long, right? The shelter in place has changed things. You know, you need to keep working. You need to blah, 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 blah. And I remember realizing that that was all my resistance, and that I was literally in a cycle of work that needed to be broken so that I could realign with the creative channel that is now like the next step for me, right? And so I'm here to tell you, I don't want you to wait until it lines up to take some time off. Okay, don't wait. Take it. Take the time. If you know you need it, take the time, put it on your calendar, figure out a window within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Let everybody around you know it's happening. Recruit somebody to go with you. If you want a buddy, don't recruit anybody if you need the time alone. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Like, nobody can take that time for you. Like, we've got to do that for ourselves. The next thing I'll share is the David Whyte poem that many of you have heard me probably share before, but I'll say this line in this David Whyte poem one more time. It says, "The cure to exhaustion isn't rest. It's wholeheartedness." So what I love about this line is it's just so freaking, it's true. And it's true in, I think, the way that like calls me forth, that calls me out, that almost busts me. Who can relate to this? I just need a vacation. I just need a 2-week vacation. Oh, it's so hard. I'm sacrificing so much. I need a 2-week vacation. And then like you get the vacation, and a few days into vacation, you're like, what's next? I want to make a video for my people, right? Like yesterday, I hit that day, like 4 or 5 days into my break, where I was floating on a lake in the middle of the mountains with nobody around. I had carried a little inner tube in, and I literally like cast myself out into this mountain lake. I was the only one in the lake. And I had this thought, I wonder what I want to say on my video tomorrow that I'm making for my ladies, right? It's like I was ready to start thinking about my business again. I was ready to start thinking about my gift again. And how many days do we really need, like laying on the beach or laying on the river? Like, how many days do we really need before we can admit that like doing what we do has the opportunity to juice us up? If you're not tapped into that creative flow, like what can you do to get yourself reconnected to the creative flow? Like what can you do? Because again, it's not necessarily about sleeping for a week. It's about getting back into the wholeheartedness of what you're doing, the passion generating activity. When you're in your sweet spot, the passion regenerates itself. The work actually regenerates you because it feels so good to be in action toward the dream, toward the big vision. And that brings me this next piece that I feel like it's so important that we embrace this. We always say, you've got to have a vision, you've got to have the vision of your business. Like that's what keeps it alive. That's what keeps it sustainable. That vision, that big why, like the why that you're working so hard, that's got to have 2 components. It's got to have a selfless component where you're literally giving, right? You're giving to make a difference for people. But it also has to have a component that a lot of us forget, especially in the holistic arts, that it has to have a selfish component, that you giving yourself over to this business, at times working a lot harder than you probably anticipated. What pulls you, it can't just be selfless. It has to also be selfish. What's going to get you through those long days? The extra hour at the computer that you didn't think you had to put in, the time when technology crashes and it creates 4 extra hours of work. The thing that's going to get you through that is that you know what you're fighting for. I've asked myself that so many times in the last few months. What am I actually fighting for? Well, I'm fighting for a life where I wake up to a business that I love. I'm fighting for a life where I get to speak my truth. I'm fighting for a life where I don't have to do things like other people want me to do. I don't have to say things that other people want me to say. I don't have to be a teacher of somebody else's material. Like, that's all very selfish. And, I serve thousands of women entrepreneurs a month, and you mean a lot to me. Like in full transparency, you are very important to me. You watching this video is important to me. I want to make a difference for you, but I also want to make a difference for myself. And so I invite you to find that place where you're fighting for your own life. You're fighting for your own livelihood. You're fighting for the fact that you can get body work once a week if you need to. When your business is financially sustainable, you're fighting for, your loved ones, the opportunity to put, your kids through college, right? Like this is what you're fighting for. You think about the single mom who, holds down 2 jobs and gets her kids through college. Well, guess what? Like she's doing that for herself. She's doing it for herself and her children. And so please, for the love of the universe, include yourself in the good fight. You deserve it. So let's talk a little bit about selfish and unselfish for just a few minutes. So the unselfish is the part of you that can surrender, like I said, to life moving through you. And that's the goal in any business, that we get to that place where life is moving through us, that we get out of the way. You know, I'm curious, for those of you who have felt this before, where have you felt that? Like, where have you felt that place of just giving your life over to something bigger than yourself? And isn't that why we started these businesses in the first place? You know, we didn't start these businesses to just peddle a bunch of products, right? Like, we started these businesses to make a difference, to expand our own spiritual awareness. We started these businesses to get free, to evolve. And I think the opportunity here is to see and to recognize what is the mental shift that gets us out of the way. You know, I always come back to this moment years ago when I was a wilderness guide and I had girls in the backcountry, you know, 12, 13-year-old girls, and we were on an 8-day trip. It was the culmination of a summer's worth of training and, you know, preparing for an 8-day trip. We were hiking with full packs between 12 and 18 miles a day, and we were going over a mountain pass each day. We were going from Banff to Lake Louise, and I was one of 2 counselors with eight girls, and my camper Katie was our smallest camper, and let me just give you a little more context. We're 4 days into an 8-day trip. We're 20 some miles from any road. We're in the middle of nowhere, and we had just crossed this mountain pass. It's storming on us, it's hailing on us. We've lost the trail, and we have to cross this river to get to camp. Like, there's no other way to get to camp. And Katie, our smallest camper, goes down the river. And this is how kids die in the backcountry. They die in river crossings. And I'll never forget what happened. I was the head counselor. I had a junior counselor. And I literally started barking orders. Like, I literally had words coming through me that had no thought. It was just, I grabbed my 2 tallest girls, my volleyball players. I grabbed my junior counselor. We ran across the river. Drop your packs, follow me. Now we're linking arms. You know, link arms, I'm going out, right? I'm going into the middle of the whitewater. And I watched my hand grab Katie's backpack. She had gone under several times. I pull her out of the ice cold river. Now she's hypothermic. We get her to the side, and I'm continuing to belt orders. This whole thing's not over, right? Get her dry, get into your packs, find some dry clothes, right? And we got her to camp, and she was okay. And I've thought about that moment so many times. 2 of the girls in that pack wrote a story about that moment in the backcountry of Katie going down the river. And that story, it got published as an article on the front page of their paper. And the title of the article was "What Young Women Can Do." And, you know, I've thought about that so many times. Like, I didn't do that to impress somebody. I didn't do that to make money. I didn't do that to impress my campers. I didn't do that for Katie's parents. I acted in that moment out of sheer just life moving through me. And my life has not been the same since. And I have sought to return to that mental space many times in my business. Like, how do I operate in a way where I'm not even thinking about it? I am literally being moved by something bigger. And I invite you to really enter into that inquiry with me and to start to track what's the mindset shift that each of us makes on a daily basis to get out of the way. That's what it's about. That's why we started these businesses in the first place, right? To get out of the way, to lose that sense of egoic drive and materialistic gain, and to be a channel of divine action. and to make a difference for those who are looking for us now, especially now. The fact that you're watching this video puts you in the top 1%. The fact that you're watching this video in the middle of the day on a weekday, top 1%. People around the world are losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods. You know, the economic reality that we're all living in is shifting so quickly. And in the middle of that, there's more opportunity than ever before. Everybody's online looking for solutions. And so what is the story you're telling yourself? What's the opportunity? And if you are among those who are facing extremely challenging circumstances, we're sending you so much love. And I'm still here to remind you that you have resources you're not even aware of. And that the fact that you're watching this video right now tells me that you have a gift inside of you that people are out there waiting for, and that you came in for this. You came in for those who are waiting for you and seeking you out now. So let's together get beyond the complaining, the skepticism, the resistance to selling, and freaking give the gift. Give the gift. They're waiting for you right now. You can do this. And we here at Women Rocking Business are with you every step. And so, sisters, if this video has supported you, please share it with a friend. Know that you're the most important part of the Women Rocking Business sisterhood. And let me know what you got out of the session today. I would love to know. I'll see you on the other side. Let's do this thing. You're stronger than you think you are. Stop asking for it to be easier and start asking to know your own strength. You've got this. Mwah. And if you got value from this episode, I invite you to hit the subscribe button so that we can get you weekly business trainings in your inbox to help you grow your impact and your income the women's way. Head over into the Women Rocking Business Sisterhood Facebook group and introduce yourself there, because women go so much further when we go together. Just click the button to subscribe and we will see you on the other side.